and welcome to Moto Matters. I'll be your host today, and what we wanted to do with this first video is kind of explain why I sound the way I do. First of all, let's start back in Ohio in the mid-90s with a young boy, 13, 15 years old. I grew up riding there, right in southern Ohio, where Aaron Blessinger grew up. Some of you've probably heard of him. Right in southern Michigan, a lot of sand, a lot of hardback clay. But I was also watching Crusty Demons of Dirt and Terra Firma. So I had dreams of riding the sand dunes. It took me over 20 years to finally get there. But last spring, went to Idaho, St. Anthony Sand Dunes. First time in the dunes, bunch of us riding, having a great time. We'd made it out to Choke Cherry Hill, which is their big hill out there about 400 feet. Climbed to the top several times, and we're working our way back through the dunes. When, one after the other, we more or less jumped off a cliff without knowing it. I was the fifth to go off, landed on another guy's bike. This stopped me immediately, so all that energy had to go somewhere. It went into my body. My throat hit the crossbar pad, bending the bar down about an inch. I severed my trachea, though not completely, broke my neck, broke ribs, punctured both lungs, broke both wrists, broke my pelvis, and suffered what's called a brachial plexus injury, which is nerve damage in the chest through the shoulder. So, originally my left arm did not move. Through months of therapy, I've got most of it back, though this finger doesn't work. That's gotta be a problem with clutch control. This wrist only has about 50% of movement because everything was so crushed inside there. I'll never get it all back, which is kind of a problem with throttle control. So, learning how to ride is going to be kind of interesting and kind of fun all at the same time. Which is my purpose, I guess, for starting a YouTube channel. Because I'm 42 years old, which means I'm too old to be doing this. This internet stuff's for the kids. And I can't speak very well, which is another reason why I really shouldn't be doing this. The voice comes from the fact that they had to sew the trachea back together just so I could breathe. In the process, they gave me an emergency tracheotomy, and a tracheostomy, which is the plastic tube going from my throat through which I can breathe. Long-term effects, my vocal cords are paralyzed. Your vocal cords normally open and close in a V shape. When you breathe in, they open. When you go to talk, they close and vibrate. Mine are paralyzed about like this. So I've had surgery to close them back up so I can talk a little bit. I've also had surgery to open up the back so I can breathe. Long-term goal is to get rid of this so I can breathe on my own through my mouth and nose like a normal person. I will never breathe fully and completely. So therefore, riding at the pace that I once did is out of the question. I'll never be able to ride 100% because I'll just run out of air way too quick. So, I'll never ride as fast or as well as I once did. But as many of you who do ride know, once you start, you just can't stop. And Doug Henry has taught us that. That guy's paralyzed and still races motocross. So he's an inspiration to us all that if you want to do it bad enough, you'll figure out a way to keep doing it. So I'm going to do several riding videos of me learning how to ride with hands that just don't work. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the journey with me as I progress and get better and learn how to do this again. I also, worked from the mid-90s through the early 2000s in a motorcycle shop. We worked on Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki. So I was a decent mechanic. You might go with that journey as well as I try to use the knowledge in my head through the hands that don't work to fix the bikes, to work on bikes, to do general maintenance, and maybe serious engine overhauls if necessary. So there'll be riding videos, some tech tips, and even some riding tips along the way. Because it's not a question if you're going to get hurt doing this, but when. So if I learn anything special to being, partially disabled and riding, I'll pass those tricks along. Especially if you might notice, I got the gray in the beard, which means I'm a vet rider. And for you other vets out there, know that riding in your old age is way different than riding in your teens and 20s. You just don't have the energy you used to. So you have to learn new riding techniques and skills to maximize what energy you do have to get the best performance. So maybe we'll throw in some of those tricks along the way. As I mentioned, several of us went off the cliff. There was about 10 in our group total. Half of us crashed. Thanks be to God, one of the kids stalled, so the other half of the group didn't follow us. But one who was in front of me was my son. He ended up breaking both of his wrists. His breaks weren't as bad as mine. He had a full recovery and is doing okay. So you'll probably see him in some of these riding videos. And I would say pay closer attention to him than me, because his form and technique is way better than mine, even when I was good and at my full strength. I hope you enjoy what we do. So as the YouTubers say, like, share, subscribe, or whatever else the cool thing they say now is. I don't know. I'm too old for that. So don't like, don't share, don't subscribe if you don't want. I'm doing this just for my entertainment, not so much to make money. So I hope you enjoy, because I know that I will, because I just love being on bikes. I've been on the bike in the yard a little bit, been riding the trials bike and my 450, which is the bike I was on when I was hurt. But I haven't been out to the actual track yet. I'm hoping to get out to our local track ran by the Sydney Cycle Association, a great club that lets us go out there and do whatever we want on the bike. So I got, 3 tracks and a couple different sets of trails. So I hope to, ride all that. I'm sure you'll see that a lot in the videos of me, progressing from, the smaller track up to the main track, which I'm a little scared to ride. I used to jump everything, and now I'm afraid just to get on the track. And I know for now, doing jumps is out of the question. My wrists just aren't strong enough. But hey, keep watching. Maybe someday you'll see me heading the big doubles and triples once again. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoy the videos yet to come. Have a good one.